Hey, my name's Dave Hooke. I'm with Keller Williams of Central PA and also KW Realty East in Harrisburg area. And I'm an investor in the market centers as well as part of a sales team that I own that someone else leads for me. And I want to answer three questions. The first is why am I at this event today with the region? And my answer is that I've been with KW for about 4 or 5 years. And every time I come to these regional events, it's another thing in my calendar. At first, I'm like, oh man, can I afford the time? And then every time once I get here, I meet people and I make connections and I take little pieces away that honestly, every time I implement a few things and it changes the course of my business for the better. So that's why I'm here. I always get good stuff out of it. What's my number one takeaway so far? So I was at a great dinner last night, had a lot of takeaways there. But I think my number one takeaway was this morning. It was two things. It was just a reminder that we chase shiny objects and easy fixes as we buy leads over and over again. And yet the fundamentals haven't changed. In my sales business, it's a $100 million volume business. 50% of our business comes from our database. And Mark King and Dave Voorhees just reiterated that and dotted that I for us today. The importance of the database from a return on time, return on energy, return on investment compared to every other lead source out there. The data is clear, and it's even more clear in a housing recession that we're going through. So that's my number one takeaway. My number two is leverage is important, but implementing tools before people is the right order. And I think we forget that. We hire people before we have the tools and systems for those people to be assigned to and run. And that's not fair to them. That's not great leadership. And then the last thing that I wanted to just talk about is why KW. For me, I was an owner and operator of independent brokerage for 15 years. And I think I wore that like a badge of honor. Like I don't need to join a franchise or a network or anything like that. And the reality is at the end of the day with being part of Keller Williams, it has changed my life in business. My life looks completely different 5 years after I joined KW. And it has to do with the vision of Gary Keller and the network, and that I get answers to questions 10 times faster and quicker than I did when I had to build everything on my own. And one word of advice about the shifting market, coming from somebody that went through 2008 and the housing crash, is this. We're in a long-term career. And keep your eye on the results and the vision 1, 3, and 5 years down the road. We might be in a phase where we have to work a little harder to survive. And we might be in a phase that we get more no's than yeses. But the reality is a lot of those no's are actually nurtures who just aren't ready yet. And don't let those no's turn into things that feel like an obligation and you stop following up with them. Keep capturing those no's, because the more you capture those no's, give them value and follow up with them in your database, the more of those will turn into a yes as people develop more confidence and this thing comes to a close. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you real soon.